You cut Dale's finger off for digging a tunnel. I once made a vest out of your wife's underpants. I can't imagine what you'd do to me.
Come on, I wouldn't hurt you. You guys know I don't have a problem with anger. I have a problem with idiots.
Hey, hello, how do you do? Shady Doorags here. The people have spoken, and the new champion of the channel is King of the Hill. As a reward for you guys making December amazing for me, I'm going to spoil you and release another King of the Hill video. Don't get used to it. I just got rid of the BoJack guy title. I don't want to be the King of the Hill guy either. The episode we're going to talk about today is the Texas Skill Saw Massacre. I chose this one because, similar to Tanking It to the Streets, it talks about a topic I find could use a little bit more light tossed onto it, that being anger and a few myths surrounding it. So without further ado, just gotta make sure Alpha J hasn't already talked about this episode, and yeah, we're good, let's get started. So the episode starts with Hank cooking breakfast in his kitchen when he suddenly falls into a tunnel. Hank follows the tunnel and finds it leads to Dale's place.
Digging a tunnel under my house?
You should be flattered.
No wonder I fell through. My floor joists are missing.
I used it to reinforce the walls of my tunnel. Did you want me digging in an unsafe tunnel?
Any rational person can see that Dale is in the wrong here and that Hank is justified in being angry, which isn't an accident on the episode's part. Hank is clearly being set up to be viewed as the victim in this situation.
It's gonna take a lot of hard work to repair this floor. And since this is all your fault, mister, I'm not gonna let you help me.
I love that line so much. It perfectly subverts expectations while sticking true to the characters. So Hank and the boys, minus Dale, begin rebuilding the kitchen floor using Hank's new foreshadow. Rotating saw.
Bill, you can be next, then me, then Bobby, and that's it.
One might make the argument that Hank is being petty here, but considering he's clearly the victim and this is his version of a punishment, I doubt most people will see it that way. Things actually get a whole lot worse for Hank once the city inspector shows up.
Without any floor joists, this house is unsafe to inhabit.
Red tag? No, green tag. Green tag.
So the Hills are forced to relocate until the floor is fixed. Dale, forced by his wife, offers to let them stay at the Gribbles. Hank, forced by his wife, accepts the offer. Throughout Hank's stay in the Gribble house, Dale acts like a really bad host, ignoring the comforts of his guests and even charging them for some of his luxuries. The reasoning behind this is mostly because Dale's an idiot, but it's also possible that Dale is being spiteful because Hank left him out of his project, which we'll see more signs of later. Either way, all of this is pushing more and more anger onto Hank. However, you'll note that throughout most of these antics, Hank doesn't really act in his anger. He just keeps to himself and trying to fix his floor. Keep that in mind as the episode goes on. So, a third of the way in, and we finally get to the real plot of the episode. Dale, again being both a bad host and an annoying neighbor, comes to bother Hank. While criticizing Hank's cutting technique, Dale puts his finger in front of the saw while it's on. This results in...
Oh no, oh my god!
You were getting back at me for what I did to your tacky linoleum floor.
Sir, do you wish to press assault charges?
Assault charges?
Officer, take him away.
And here we have our first myth about anger. Dale assumes that because Hank was angry when he cut off his finger, that it was an act done in anger. In truth, not every act done while angry, even ones that are violent, are done because of anger. Some of them are even accidents. Moving on, Hank and Dale go to court, and this is where suspension of disbelief is a little difficult to maintain. I can buy that Dale believes Hank cut his finger off on purpose. Again, Dale is an idiot, and he's also a conspiracy nut, thinking literally everyone but John Redcorn is out to get him. But then this scene happens.
Objection.
That's not a word.
I am issuing a restraining order. You are not to go within 100 feet of Mr. Gribble.
What? That is crazy. I live within 100 feet of him.
You seem to have a serious problem controlling your rage.
Yeah, Hank is justifiably angry at someone for making false accusations about him, and the judge immediately takes Dale's side. When Hank points out how stupid the judge's verdict is, the judge suddenly deems that Hank has an anger problem. I'm not saying a judge this stupid and stubborn doesn't exist, but that it's a stretch to make me think Hank and Dale just happened to get him. Yes, I know, when you're in a courtroom, you're supposed to conduct yourself in an orderly manner or there will be consequences. But it barely takes any action on Hank's part for the judge to suddenly deem him unruly. More than likely, this was done this way in the episode for the sake of time. But this scene does lead to the next myth about anger. Hank let out multiple bursts because he was upset, so the judge sought to get him under control. The judge assumed the outbursts were inappropriate because they were derived from anger. Us in the audience can see that Hank is making rational statements, but those caught in the moment are only feeling the anger coming off of him. Actions derived from anger are often thought to be inappropriate specifically for that reason. So, due to Dale's actions, Hank is legally deemed to have an anger problem, and his friends and family start to believe the hype. They all start projecting the anger they believe Hank has onto his actions.
Dang it.
Oh God, he's on another rampage! Pray for us all!
Hank has always been angry. When we were in kindergarten and the other children would use the finger paints, he would pinch them.
You are a bald-faced liar.
Amen!
Have I mentioned this show is funny? As all of this destruction of Hank's reputation is going on, Dale begins to power trip. In the same way that Hank wasn't letting him participate in fixing the kitchen floor, Dale is starting his own project, building another tunnel, that he won't let Hank be a part of. He also bullies where Hank can and can't be using the restraining order.
Hold it right there. One more step and you'll have to move to a similar house a few blocks away.
It's ironic because everyone claims Hank is the one with the anger problem, yet they all completely ignore Dale, who is clearly motivated out of anger in all his actions. So Hank begins going to the management class and...
Let's give a nice, calm anger management welcome to Hank Hill, our newest student.
Oh, snap, crackle pop, it's this guy.
Wow, you are just a bundle of rage. Why don't you pet an imaginary cat? Shut the door. Shut the door.
So, Doug Funny here is one of my least favorite minor characters in all of King of the Hill, and he's the main reason I wanted to talk about this episode specifically. As the head of an anger management class, he's supposed to be teaching these people how to handle their anger. What does he do instead?
Now, I'm going to teach you all a little dance. The avoid dance.
He's teaching them to avoid anger entirely. Every exercise in this guy's class is for the students to either avoid the situation that's making them angry or try to substitute anger with another emotion. This is not a good thing. As Inside Out will tell you, the negative emotions you feel are just as important as the positive ones. People need to find ways to release those negative emotions or they will just build up. Anger exists in the human mind for a reason. It's not something you should be trying to get rid of all the time. Also, some of the situations he talks about just don't make any sense.
Next time you walk by Junior's messy room, shut the door. Don't look at what infuriates you.
So, you ignore the problem to avoid getting angry. That's ludicrously stupid.
No, it was an accident. My neighbor put his finger in front of the blade.
Hank, my man, that's what we call blaming others.
Oh, no, you didn't just say Hank, of all people, has a victim mentality. There's a difference between looking at something objectively and realizing in the end that it wasn't your fault and instinctively blaming others. Thankfully, there's someone in the class who isn't buying what this guy is selling.
Big Jim, is there a reason you're not shutting the door?
'Cause you're a pencil neck who's got diarrhea of the mouth.
Hank and Jim begin to bond over how stupid their class is, and eventually they just decide to play hooky and work on Hank's floor instead. However, things take a turn when Dale shows up and continues to bully Hank.
Skedaddle, boy. We got a tunnel to dig under the alley.
Dale is not only berating Hank, but he's bragging about how he's gonna do something stupid, dangerous, and illegal, which Hank, as block captain, has a responsibility to stop him from doing. Naturally, this makes Hank angry. With someone else backing him up this time, Hank doesn't back down and intentionally unleashes some anger towards Dale. Big Jim, getting fired up, joins in with Hank, but to Hank's surprise, he starts taking things a bit too far. Big Jim has no control over his anger as he starts barking at Dale, and he just keeps going and going at it until...
Paramedics said he got so worked up he just stroked out. That could be me lying there.
It does not have to be, Hank. You are taking a class that gives you the tools to handle your anger.
Big Jim dying of an anger stroke makes Hank realize that anger management is a serious problem for some people, and given his history of aggression, maybe he's one of those people. Now, this isn't true. Yes, Hank can lose his temper sometimes like most people do, but Hank, like the rest of his friends and family, is simply projecting Jim's problem onto himself because he too is now afraid of what anger can do to someone. So Hank returns to his anger management class and starts taking it seriously. He is eventually able to pass it using the techniques that are taught to him. We are then treated to The best moment in any King of the Hill episode.
Chick man, Joni. I'm not a chick, I'm a dude.
Hank, now armed with a diploma that says he's anger-free, is able to come back to the alley, but finds that the rest of the boys are already underway with their tunnel digging project. Hank tries to use his newfound anger management skills to convince the others to join him on the surface, but Dale, probably still spiteful about being left out from before, convinces them to stay underneath. This becomes a big concern when a garbage truck starts coming down the alley.
You might want to get out of there. You see, there's a garbage truck coming. They weigh about 5 tons.
No time to gab, Hank. We got bigger fish to fry.
My idiot friends rented a ditch witch, and they're in the tunnel under the alley.
Drinking, hanging around alleys, making up stories just to get attention. Get it together.
Pet the cat. Pet the cat.
Watch the anger. You don't want to end up like Big Jim, remember?
So Hank's done all he can do. He tried his anger management techniques, he tried talking to the driver, and his anger in this situation is just building and building until...
Get out! Get out! Get out! If you don't get out of that god-dang rat hole now, I'll get my circular saw, come down there, cut off all your fingers and toes. Now move! Move! Move!
So the episode ends with everyone appreciating Hank and realizing that his anger is sometimes a good thing. It's slightly anticlimactic as the resolution is only about 20 seconds and Dale doesn't get karma justice owed to him for all the horrible stuff he did in this episode. But I think it's still an episode worth discussing because of the lesson it teaches. What this episode demonstrates is a common occurrence I see in people and sometimes even in myself, and that's a fear of failure. Oh wait, no, sorry, force of habit. A fear of anger. Anger causes people to do aggressive and many times unacceptable things. As such, humans have developed defenses when they see someone getting angry. And there do exist people, like Big Jim, who need to learn how to handle their anger, or they become a threat to themselves and to others. But the problem is, anger itself is not the enemy. It's a natural response to what is perceived as an unfair situation. As humans, being angry is healthy, and there are some situations that will only yield the proper result with an angry response. If you successfully get someone to ignore their anger completely or avoid all situations that make them angry, you create a whole plethora of other problems for them. What should be taught is to avoid reacting in anger and finding healthy ways to express it without anyone getting hurt, including the person getting angry themselves. I'm not saying there's never a time where you should avoid anger. For example, if a situation has nothing to do with you but still frustrates you, then yeah, it's probably best if you just walk away from it. But that's the key here. You shouldn't just avoid anger entirely, but know when to physically express your anger as well as how to go about it. So, there will indeed be some cases that are not worth getting angry about. But dismissing anger in general is not the solution to anger problems. There are situations where you shouldn't just shut the door. Because when you get down to it, controlling your temper is called anger management, not anger avoidance. This has been Shady Doorags. So long, farewell, Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
I'm not a chick, I'm a dude.